What's happening, everyone? Welcome to my video. I must tell you before we get into it that today's video is sponsored by Le Bon. Le Bon is a fantastic app. Click the link in the description below to download it. You can play against your friends. It's so much fun and it's gambling, but you're not taking on the big bookies. You're simply taking on your mates and you have to predict a selection of scores. Have a look, let me show you. So what we have here, we have Crystal Palace, Manchester City. That for me has got 3-0 written all over it to City. Over here, we're going to go Brighton Leeds. I reckon that has got... I'm going to go 2-2 for this one. And so on, and so on, and so on. I will put up my full list of scores now. And there you have it. All you have to do is get a group of your mates together, click the link in the description below, make your predictions, and it's really good fun. The in-app features are fantastic. There's a chat. There's also a graph that shows you how you're getting on, and you get notified every single time there is something happening in a game that you have bet on. So all I can ask you is, please be kind enough to click the link in the description below. Le Bon have been great to us, and you help support the channel if you help support them. Hope you enjoy the video. Ooh la la. That is 2 nights on the spin that we have had a delectable medley of footballing splendour. May I ask you to do me a favour? If you love the Europa League the way that I do, will you give this video a like? I want to monitor it. I want to see how do people feel about this competition, because I think it gets far too much slander. But on this channel, there is no room for it. If you have any slander, any hostility towards the Europa League, you're out. Because I think it is a marvellous competition. And I have loved it when I've seen Chelsea win it in Amsterdam, when Chelsea won it in Baku against Arsenal. And do you know what? I'm going to be totally honest with you. The thought of Manchester United playing Arsenal in the final in Gdansk, I like it. I really like that idea as a final. It will be huge. I like it as long as Manchester United win. But yeah, I'm on board with that. So it's looking like Manchester United are already there. They have beaten Roma 6-2. What an amazing performance it is for them. And that should suggest that their semi-final hoodoo that they have had of late is over. It's a historic night for Manchester United. It's the first time that they have ever scored 5 goals in a game in a European semi-final. Huge. And the way that they did it was actually breathtaking. You know, certain players really elevated their game. Their world-class players stepped up. They need a couple more world-class players, but the boys that should be doing the business tonight, they did the business. It was a surreal night at Old Trafford. Truly mesmerising. Fernandes, Cavani both got 2. Paul Pogba and Mason Greenwood also gave Manchester United this unimaginable cushion ahead of the second leg. It was actually reminiscent of the fixture about a decade or so ago. Do you remember that 7-1? Manchester United were pushing. It could have been 7 again. Listen to this amazing stat. 3% of the goals Manchester United have ever scored in European home games have come against Roma. That is unbelievable. In 2 games. And yeah, it is those 2 games. Can you believe it? What a stat that is. That huge tally that Manchester United have put on the board today effectively ends this tie. Manchester United have broken the hoodoo. They're going to Gdansk. It's massive. And the reason that they're going is because their big boys stepped up. Paul Pogba, immense. The goal that Bruno Fernandes scored in that first half was outstanding. Paul Pogba's movement and decision-making, elite. Edison Cavani blew my mind tonight. Absolutely dream-like centre-forward play. The likes of which I haven't seen at my club for a little while, sadly. Every time he plays, I just think he's better and better and better. The movement, the eye for a pass, the finishing, the filthiness which you need as a centre-forward. It just makes me start singing. Every now and again, Adam McCullough gets in my head and I find myself watching him play, giving it, give it to Eddie Cavani. It's truly outstanding. Absolutely brilliant from him. And Bruno Fernandes, man, he's always the guy, isn't he? He has now hit 20 penalties for Manchester United. I mean, people like to knock it and whatever, but I think it's impressive. I think only Ruud van Nistelrooy and Wayne Rooney have scored more penalties than Bruno Fernandes. So it's a landmark moment for him again. His arrival at this club is truly unbelievable. It's very difficult to think of any player arriving. I actually can't. I can't think of any player that have arrived at any club and landed and simply elevated the tide, brought the entire club up with his pure brilliance. So a huge night for Manchester United, and it's a night I think that I'm going to award my man of the match. It's a night that belongs to Cavani. I just think he's such a warrior, such a clever player. The movement at the near post, he's just an example. And can you imagine the player that Mason Greenwood is going to become learning from somebody like Cavani? A truly sensational night for Manchester United. They are in the final. We need to now have a chat about the team that will be joining them. So off to El Madrigal we go. Arsenal have lost 2-1, and it was so weird. It was one of the most chaotic, odd, surreal games you can watch. Arsenal were rubbish. They should have been out of it. They looked like they were going to be out of it, but now they're in a fairly strong position. Villarreal looked fairly shambolic themselves, but again, we'll be probably fairly happy with the result. So this one is still on a knife edge, and what I take from that is you can tell that both clubs have Arsenal managers in charge. Both clubs have that exact Arsenal quality that we are so used to. We are so used to seeing. It looked like the game was well and truly done. Arsenal were awarded a penalty that was then overturned by VAR, and it looked like it was totally over for Arteta, especially when Dani Ceballos got sent off. But Bukayo Saka has won a penalty. A penalty that was not a penalty, if you ask me. And the game is now finally poised. What I do know, though, from watching this game, is that when you look at the teams left in the competition, right, you've got Roma, who are 7th in Serie A, you've got Arsenal, who are 10th in the Premier League, and you've got Villarreal, who are 7th in La Liga. There is no excuse for Manchester United not to win this trophy. Both Arsenal and Villarreal looked dodgy, average at best. So Manchester United should be winning this trophy. They really should. Overall, Arsenal were okay. I mean, they asked questions. What you got from them, you got two weird performances. There was one narrative that we could talk about, which would be, how are Arsenal so rubbish to find themselves in this situation? 2-0 down, whatever else. But then you could also say, Arsenal have done incredibly well to get themselves out of that situation. So I'm going to kind of balance it somewhere in the middle. I think what does need to be discussed, I think it was a proud night for Rob Holding, captaining the club in a European semi-final. And Arsenal's disciplinary record is shoddy, very shoddy. I think that's now 10 players sent off in the Arteta reign. So that is definitely not good enough. So overall, I think Arsenal have to be happy. They were sinking without a trace, but Nicola Pepe's penalty has given them a fairly strong stance going into the second leg. And as a club, I think Arsenal will be fairly happy as well, because at one point it was looking like their old manager was making their current manager look like a total wally. That's not ideal at all. So the fact that it's finished like this could have even been better for Arsenal had Aubameyang taken that chance at the death. Overall, I think Arsenal have to be happy. You know, Leno produced 2 good saves as well. I can't see a world in which Arsenal can be too full of complaints tonight. But look, if Manchester United do not win this trophy, I have no idea how either of these two sides are going to beat them. I really don't. Manchester United electric, Arsenal average, Villarreal above average, Roma out. There we have it. The Europa League final is on the horizon, and an all-English final could well be on the cards. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching it. If you have enjoyed it, please do me the honour of clicking subscribe. It really does help me out if you would be so kind. Until next time, my amigos.